I'm excited to chat with you, Kate, and I'm curious to start at the beginning. Who are some of your musical influences?
Well, it goes from like, well, I was a kid. I had like my mom, she was listening a lot of Shania Twain. So I had that CD like in my house. I was obsessed with that music. I remember something clicked. Like there's a song called In This Moment. That one was kind of was listening to it night and day. Then I kind of started digging into pop punk and punk rock. So I got into Sum 41, Blink 182, Panic at the Disco. Um, yeah, pretty much like all the underground. But I'm also like a big fan of pop music. So uh, from Madonna to Lady Gaga, Nicki Minaj, and Post Malone. Uh, I like distortion and I like pop melodies. So anything that has like distorted guitars, like heavy, chunky distorted guitars and pop melodies, I'm a big fan of it. And Bob Dylan, big thing, big time. Also Bob Dylan, I love him as well.
I was gonna say your sound is kind of pop, but also alt rock a little bit. Do you tend to have a way you describe it yourself?
I would say like alternative pop rock. So I try to not like put myself too much like in doing just pop punk or just punk rock. I definitely want to feel free to express myself. If I want to write a song like on a piano and just make it more a ballad, and then having like something a bit more heavy. I would say that my lyrics and my voice, my vocals are very consistent on the way I write my music, and then I try to explore different, different parts of myself. So I would say alternative pop rock.
I have to say your sound is incredible on your new upcoming single, In My Mind, We Are All Insane. I think it's a super great song. Talk about the message behind it. Where did you get the inspiration for this one?
Well, in my mind, really insane is a song about embracing your own insanity and accepting it. Some days you may wake up and you feel low. Some days you wake up and you feel like you got your world in your hands. And that sort of like ups and down in life, it makes you feel almost insane sometimes. So my message behind is like, okay, cool. Life may be unpredictable, may be weird, but we're getting better and better. Like it's like basically an empowering song because at that time when I wrote it, it was like January last year, and I was going through some sort of, winter in London is never easy. Like it's it can get quite intense because it's like it's cold, it's rainy. Everyone, it's quite depressing. And I was spending a lot of time in the studio. I was working on a project, and I got approached by this publisher who offered me like $1 to put my music on TV and film. And and it was kind of weird how it developed, but eventually that story became a joke between me and my producer, and we've been working so much on this project, and then the little things about that deal came out, and I was laughing. I was like, Mac, that's how funny is that we got finally $1 for the music, and it's like, well, okay, we can buy a sandwich with that, and we're making jokes about that $1. So I was going in that time through this sort of ups and downs because I wanted really to, I was happy to be in the studio and write, but at the same time, navigating the industry was quite it was making me feel insane sometimes, going through like bullshit and good things. So I went to the studio. I had this instrumental that my producer sent me over. He's like an 18 genius, like kind of like all day recording with tapes, and just a very interesting producer to work with. And he sent me an instrumental. And yeah, I basically used that song to kind of pull myself out of that feeling of just feeling like, oh my God, I can't handle this anymore. So I literally started screaming and just like telling the story about the $1 dream, and just telling the story of how some days you wake up and you just not, I mean, you're not feeling it. And the other day you may feel like you're so powerful. And I'm like, it's fine to feel like that. Like, life is unpredictable. It's not perfect. It's okay if sometimes we feel like such a diverse, like so emotions so different from the other. Yeah, so just embrace your own insanity. That's the message.
What kind of what was it like? I should ask you after recording that. Was it very freeing for you being in the studio and just letting it all
Yeah.
out after you recorded that one?
I'm not joking. I'm not joking, but I use this song every day almost as a like every time I'm like, I need that boost of confidence, that boost of just like I can go and do. I listen to it because it starts quite mellow, you'll be like kind of days, but then the chorus hits and the hook as well. And it just like automatically I feel like I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, let's go. Let's laugh about life and let's just keep rolling like a movie. Let's just go. It gives you that sort of energy, and that's what I want. People when they listen to the song, I want them to use it for just feel empowered and more confident.
Does this mean there's a full album or maybe even EP in the works, or are you kind of focused on releasing singles for the time being?
I have an EP that I'm working on. It's called "Love, War, and Other Human Inventions." It kind of gives my perspective on existence. Like a bit like nihilistic type of view of the world. Like not saying that I don't believe in anything, but it's like almost explaining human emotions and life in a sarcastic um way, saying how I feel, that love sometimes it may feel like, a human creation, and that, or like in a sort of pop pop rock key. So yeah, I just wanted to get that part of my personality, my view about how I perceive the world, just like the artificial world around me, and other human inventions.
You talked a bit about the songwriting when it came to your upcoming song, In My Mind, We're All Insane, but do you tend to have a specific process when you are writing your songs, or does it change every time you write one?
I write a lot of stuff on my notes, so I always have like hooks and words that I read maybe on a cereal box, even, like I see like a word or something, and I'm like, damn, that could be good for to say in a song, like it has potential. So I write it down. Um, Usually I go for long walks, like in London, like 2 hours walk, and you just let it flow. And I write that on my notes. Then I do produce a lot of music. I like to produce music myself. So I've actually started my career as a producer before actually writing and singing. I was like making beats on Ableton. But now, since I've started working with this producer specifically, he usually makes the production, he sends over an instrumental, and then based on what feeling the melodies are giving me, I decide, I pick like one of the hooks that I relate to on my notes. I pick certain parts that I'm feeling, and I just put in a song, and then I build the concept basically. Yeah, so, so
So it sounds like you have quite a bit of a hand when it comes to not just the writing, but the production side of the music you make as well. It's great,
yeah,
especially for a female musician to be so hands-on and getting the sound out that she particularly wants people to hear so that we're
yeah,
not molded into the artists that other people see us as.
yeah, yeah. I feel like it's I feel like it's almost essential now for musicians to kind of know what sound they want to go for, or what sound, because like also when you have to put it out there and you don't you maybe it's like you need to feel it, like it has to come from you, like mm, I don't want to go too into deep with that, but if you have like a pre-made song and it's not, also maybe written by someone else, it's great if you have like a major label can promote that. But if it's you promoting it, I feel like you lose a little bit of like it's hard to kind of connect with the song and also with the audience when you promote it on social media.
Well, is there an artist you would love or a musician you'd love to collaborate with on a song in the future?
Andrew Watts, he's like a producer and songwriter that I really like. He basically wrote like all my favorite songs, so that would be special. Like that would be so cool. And about a musician, probably like the new ones, it would be Post Malone or well, um, from regarding like more like alternative genre music or pop rock or pop punk. I would love to make a song with the Good Charlottes. Like they had a song called like the lifestyle rich and the famous, and that that song made me fall in love with that band. Um, I don't know, like all people I would like to collaborate with, they're all dead, so it's kind of complicated.
What would you like to say to everyone who are fans and supporters of the wonderful music that you make?
Well, I would love to say regarding my like, upcoming single to just really don't worry too much. Like if you feeling in a certain way sometimes, just be crazy, be insane, and just see your life as a movie. Like more you see your life as a movie, more you kind of can see yourself as a character, and you can detach a little bit from what you're feeling and helps to navigate a bit better. So yeah. And yeah.